Eighth house is revenge. He's getting some kind of revenge. Welcome to Royal Revelations. It is July 12th, 2024. I'm astrologer Val Evans, and thanks for joining me today, live or on replay. We've got more royal predictions for you. Just a reminder, I have two shows, Status and Privilege, Sunday afternoon, and I've got a live pool party on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I've got Amber with me today. She is, of course, going to give us some of her thoughts and give us her perspective. And we're going to look at some of the tarot cards and see if they match up like they usually do. And if you are interested in looking at your destiny calendar or solar return chart, you can go to AstroSeek and click on, you can either go to AstroSeek solar return calendar or go in through the birth chart and click on solar return, click on the year of your last birthday, and then click on the solar only tab. And that's how you're going to be able to make your own monthly predictions. And we're going to talk about North Node today, how North Node shows what you're going to get that year, your solar return year. That is when you've got your birthday. It's the calendar year, in a sense. Your birthday calendar year starts on the month of your birthday. So keep that in mind. We're going to be looking at a bunch of solar return charts today. And here is just a quick clip of what I put together for the Destiny calendar. You're going to be looking at North Node a lot in your calendars from year to year, what you get. And you're going to be seeing some blue aspects sometimes, which means, oh, you're going to get it. And sometimes you're going to be seeing some red aspects in your solar return chart, which are squares or oppositions. And there is a little stress. Sometimes North Node in poor aspect means fake, like, maybe a fake marriage days.
I just saw someone in the chat in the UK. There was some crime news that I had not yet heard of. It's just, I guess it's just coming out.
Let's see. Eleanor's coming in here. Hi, have you heard the UK news today? Two suitcases containing two male bodies around the Bristol suspension bridge. The devil card in the bridge. Remember, you kept getting that. Yeah, I saw that this morning. And that is west of London. So really terrible news that came in today. And let's see. Hello, everyone in chat. Isabel's here. Toy is here. And Frankie, nice to see you. Bucky Clay fan. KK's here. And so let's get started. King Charles bought a luxury New York City condo for $6.63 million on Billionaires Row, which I think is quite a steal.
Quite a deal. Yeah.
Seeing as how J-Lo's mansion that she's selling is 60 and change, 6 is pretty good.
I mean, it's a new building, right? It's something new construction. And this was the last one sold, as I understood, at least from the article.
Look at this.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating that I don't know that I recall a time when a member of the royal family outside of Harry purchased American real estate.
At least publicly. And you wonder if behind closed doors, it was like, maybe he's going to escape to the States. Now, we don't look at this chart very often, but this is King Charles's solar arc chart. You're going to look at the 8th house lord, and the 8th house lord for him is Aquarius. You're going to look at Uranus here. So very interesting that the month that Harry and Meghan got married, this opposition began. So basically, Venus and Neptune started moving in to an opposition to his Uranus. And the solar arc goes pretty slow. It's basically your birth chart turning on itself. It turns counterclockwise. You can see how Neptune, Venus, and it goes all the way like this cluster right here. Well, it's just here now. So everything turns this way. So interesting how Venus is a female. Capricorn is a dark complexion, somebody who could be older. I think she is older than Harry. And with Neptune there, a foreign woman moves in. So there's an opposition there. Now, this is going to go on for a couple more years, but it's something that has to do with the real estate. So maybe it has something to do with the inheritance, or I'm not exactly sure what, but I have to say, Neptune is a scandal and Venus is a financial scandal. So I'm wondering, looking towards the future, is King Charles going to get in trouble for buying up real estate? I mean, he's probably done it many years before, but is there going to be a problem this time? And that's what I was going to ask you, if we could do that for the first card. We'll start easy with the questions.
Okay. Well, I have the 8th house card and the Uranus card and the 4th house, which are all of those themes that you just talked about in that chart. So 8th house, Uranus, 4th house is the home and real estate. So I thought that was interesting. That's the 3 from my initial pull. And inheritance came up quite a bit with my pre-read as well. So let's see what's the meaning behind this with Charles in this purchase. Will he get in trouble was the question. There could be a bit of a battle over the money. I have the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, this actually could be, it's not a loss of money, but it's maybe like a contract concern, or there's an issue with the financing of it, or there's some conflict around the money for the real estate. I don't know how he paid for it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I was thinking that maybe like New York real estate, it's on a fire sale right now. And the smart people know that it's not going to last forever. It's going to go back up again. So I wonder if maybe Charles is investing in New York right now at rock bottom, prices, so that he can recoup some of, hard to believe that they would have issues. But I know that there was a headline just a couple of days ago saying that there's a controversy that I believe he's charging $100 for. Did you see that?
Yes.
I'm all for it. I'll spend it. I want to go see, but a lot of people naturally do not like that idea. They're selling whatever it was. Was it behind the scenes of the castle or something like that? I don't know. But it's something that has not been open, I don't think, to the public before. So Elaine says Charles has been spending a lot. Let's see.
I don't know what the inheritance piece is, or the children, because there's such strong energy in the cards for inheritance and children. A lot, like almost the entire reading.
Yes. This is just, I'm getting a kick out of these. So say that one more time. I'm sorry, I missed it.
There's just a lot of energy around inheritance and children in the cards. The reading is very strong for that.
Okay,
so I'd be
good to
curious
know.
See what else comes out.
Yeah. So this is, that was his solar arc chart. We could probably get a bunch more, but I just thought that foreign woman was interesting, the financial scandal, and yeah, I'm going to move on. It's hard though, because he has Saturn, his solar arc Saturn is basically on his sun. And this is a low period, figures you'd have something like that when you're supposed to be in, you're in the period where you've dreamed about your whole life.
Right.
Now we're going to look, I've got a few curveballs for you. We've got Prince George's solar return chart this year. I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble for a couple of charts I'm putting up. And I don't care because I want to look, and you guys can look with me. Now, let me just put this up here. This year, Prince George, is a Cancer rising in his solar return chart or destiny calendar. And a lot of stuff going on. Isn't that interesting? He's got a kite here. Something's taken off for Prince George. A lot of exciting things for him. So what we want to do is we want to look where Daddy is. And that's the fourth house Lord. So that's going to be Mercury right here. And then we are going to really take notice of this Prince William. And I'm going to draw a red line from there to something just fell in my kitchen. That was unexpected.
As
that
we
was
talk
weird.
about Uranus and
Yes. I don't know what, I hope it's all okay back there. Anyway, Uranus is squaring Mercury, which is an upset, and it's in the 11th house of plans, future, that kind of thing. Now, this is his birthday's coming up. So he's a birthday boy, July 22nd. It's now July 12th. So when he starts, it is a mic drop, exactly. We are going to be right here, July 22nd. Then it's going to be July, August, September. So it's going to be between September 22nd and October 22nd, because these houses, if you're just joining us for the first time, they're each a month after your birthday, consecutive months, and they're going to start on the day of your birthday. So if you were born on the 5th, each house for you is going to start on the 5th. Mm-hmm. So we have this is the area right here, and it looks like September 22nd to October 22nd, there is a big shock. It is right on Algol, which is it's intense. It's intense. So I wonder what is going to happen for Prince George in September, and what is that Uranus there? And you got Uranus as well in some of your pre-reads.
I did. So is this related to William?
Yes, because Mercury rules his dad. Now, Mercury is going to rule his dad, and also Saturn, which I can also look at. But definitely Mercury.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, the Three of Swords.
Okay.
With the Ace of Cups. And that is, I almost don't like my intuitive hits sometimes because they just get me a little choked up. I feel like it has something to do with the king. This feels like a loss of someone well loved.
Okay. So a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah.
And a shock.
Yes. This is I've got the Ten of Swords underneath, which is something being just done. No returning from that. The Three of Swords is very, deep mental anguish. You call it heartbreak, but it is about it's like a state of mind. But with the Ace of Cups, the three together, I should say, it's a loss of love. It's the end of a love. It's the end of this emotional connection. Okay. I'm not sure who it connects to, but I could ask. Let's ask that if it's what it's connected to with him, George.
Perfect.
Oh, interesting. Who's the Virgo? Do we have a Virgo?
Oh, let me think.
I mean, this is just an older, wiser gentleman with this, this
could be a worker. Could be somebody.
Could be a worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Or dog.
I mean, sometimes a hermit is a teacher.
Yes.
Professor. Someone of higher education.
Do you think it could be King Charles?
No,
Okay.
I don't actually. There's the Lovers keeps coming out. Gemini. Um, I mean, in this deck, the Hermit is the Lovers is actually a biracial couple, and then the Hermit is an African American in this deck.
Okay. Interesting. Now that's, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because there is a clue here that it could be Harry, because what is happening here, look at that, it's the third house, and that's an uncle.
Yeah.
So it could be, I mean, it represents dad and uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right on Regulus. So
Mm.
it's like, it's almost like the kingdom is in shock. And it's funny because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, obviously, in July, which is this month. But I wasn't looking ahead yet to September there. So this looks like it's going to be something unexpected. Seems as if there's going to be some. It's like there's some nice aspects to this. So there's going to be help.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be coming in, and there is going to be. Let's look at Saturn, which would be dad for him. And Saturn is retrograde this year. So all the way up in the 10th house, we're seeing his dad, for all to see in the 10th house. But they're together. He's helping his dad,
Mm-hmm.
but his dad is squaring Jupiter, and Jupiter represents, gosh, it's too early for Prince George to start working, but could be a stop in a routine that they have. Sixth house is routine, so that's possible.
Could it be a change, like a relocation, a move, like school, or like
Let's
traveling somewhere, going like the Chariot? This I got the King of Swords and the Four of Wands, which is the home, and obviously in this one it's a castle with the King of Swords and the Chariot. Feels like travel, going somewhere, like going away.
I gotta say, the fourth house is ruled by Mercury in the third, and it is squaring Uranus, meaning you got to move, you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
They are having, and it's also the 11th house. So that shows that what they were planning, which would be the 11th house of your future and what you're shooting towards, it's also community too. They have to leave for some reason. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. It feels like a move
It could be
or
a
a change of school.
11th house is also friendships.
Mhm.
So possible that he has to leave his friends for some reason. But it
Mhm.
sounds like such an outlandish type of prediction. But
Yeah.
that's what we're getting here. That's what we're
Yeah.
getting. So the next slide shows what is Prince George receiving. And I have this image here, which is the North Node in the 10th house. Now, the North Node means what you are receiving. And it looks like he's receiving quite a bit, but it's in the 10th house. And this is government. It is, North Node is in Aries. So it's like, maybe it's like a ceremonial type of knife or something like that, which sounds silly. But North Node conjunct Neptune is a photo. So it seems this will be later in his year, I think. It's not going to be right away, but it looks like there's going to be a very important photo that takes place with his family and his dad.
Mhm.
And gosh, Neptune is so prominent.
As you're saying all of this, I have chills up and down one side of my body. I never have that. When we talk, I've never had that until right this moment. My whole entire left side of my body has chills. So you must be on to something.
Yeah, I guess we should ask, I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen Neptune take certain definitions. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, with a missing person, we see people who were buried in an oil tank,
Yeah.
oil, weather, floods,
Mhm.
cult. But we like to think of the nice things too.
Mhm.
Is a dream. You thought you were going to become king, I guess, when you were in your 20s or 30s, but now the dream is right in front of you. It's closer to you, maybe.
Mhm.
That's a possibility. It's also a doctor as well.
Yeah.
So a doctor might be coming in, and surely they've talked to plenty of doctors in the past year. But what do you think that Neptune is?
I wonder if it is around. There's two things that are coming out. It could be him being photographed in a processional. I think it could be photography in a funeral processional specifically, and I don't know if that was in a certain time of his solar return chart. But this is also another Virgo card. Someone sort of in a processional. This, and then I have fast, chariot, magician, the world, like something really big. And we just talked about that September, October timeframe. That could be, and when Toy wrote that, I got chills again. It could be William taking the throne and George being participatory. This is something very quick. And being on a world stage after a funeral.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And it almost doesn't seem real because we see King Charles. He's doing his thing. He's buying real estate,
Yes.
He's going to garden parties for 1,000 people or 8,000 people.
Yes.
I've never seen a garden party that had 8,000 people, but
Yeah.
he's doing his thing. And
Yeah.
so something like this, it's with alcohol, though, that is a demon. It is often it shows there's alcoholism. I don't think it's going to apply with obviously Prince George's immediate family, but it shows that the demons are coming in and they're shocking in some sense.
Yeah.
And so not sure exactly what that is, but it does seem like they rise. North Node is in the 10th house. I'm afraid to say it also looks like some kind of a war. Could you pull the cards because North Node is in Aries and this is military. So could just be military honors, right?
Right. I feel like there could be an overlap. If there's a change for William and George is, participatory or witnessing this, it could be that Charles is unwell to the degree that the power shift has to occur, or due to an event. Let's see if it's. And of course, in my initial spread, I got the tower. I did get the tower. So there's that.
That's an ongoing, recurring theme.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm asking, could there be a war? I have the Two of Cups for the second time. That's partnership. It doesn't have to necessarily be romantic. I don't actually read it that way. I see it more as contractual agreements. Justice card. That's, the law. That's the courts. Is it something? Okay, I'm going to say political war, not physical war, is what it reads to me. It's some sort of non-combative. The cards are not showing combat. There's nothing here to say that. But some kind of war in a different sense.
That's fair. And I've got a chart that might back that up. So I am going to refer to that in a few minutes. So that's very, very intriguing. And just before I move on to the next slide, Neptune represents Mummy this year. So she is high up there in the 10th house. And there's something that she's doing. She's making a change that she wants. So there's a change that somebody doesn't want and a change that someone wants. And it seems like from this chart, she could be doing something that has to do with her duty. But look how there's a T square here. It's like she wants to be up there, or she's being asked to do something and she's being pulled back. Sixth house is the apex of George's T square in his solar return, and that's health. So that's pulling her back. But somehow, I mean, Uranus could be like a Zoom or just, talking online, showing what is she doing? She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram, 11th house of social media. So that's how she's getting herself out there. She's getting her video. She's getting her photos on social media. So she's leaning into that right now. She can't lean into her duties and work, which is, it's all kind of like, it's like a traffic jam or something there. That's what that T square is. So, and also interesting that his mom is right next to his dad and they're both retrograde. And when that happens in a solar return chart, it's that you tend to not be at your full strength. You might be grieving for something. You might be too busy and too stressed. There's a whole bunch of different reasons your symbol or somebody you love, their symbol is retrograde that year. But also notice, wow, Pluto and Moon, that's super, 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 super famous. And this is also aspecting Kate. So there's another video, anything basically that she puts out. Everybody wants to see, they eat it up. And I would say that she being right next to his dad, I don't know. I'm going to move on. I'm going to come back to that because that looks like a change. It looks like a change of some sort. Okay, so we went over that. What is Prince George's father? Shock. Already kind of went over that. Now, this is a chart that I'm going to get in big trouble for, but I'm going to look at it anyway. And this is going to give us a couple of answers about something, notably Prince Catherine and Harry. This is this year's solar return chart for Princess Diana. Her ascendant is in Aries this year, which means that she's feeling like or her energy is like, it's hard to describe, but Mars is the symbol for Diana. Now let's look at who is who in this chart, because that's the reason we're pulling this chart. And so we have William is the fifth house lord. That's going to be the moon right here. And then we're going to look at who his wife is. So that's going to be 7, and that's going to be 7 houses from the 5th is going to be Princess Catherine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to look at Saturn. Saturn is retrograde in Princess Diana's chart. So work with me here. It's interesting that Saturn is in the 12th house in Pisces, and that shows somebody who is not showing themselves. Now, this goes from July 1st this year to July 1st next year. This is going to show, I think, we are not going to see Princess Catherine for some time, according to this chart. But the other thing is that if you look at Harry in Princess Diana's chart, he's Venus, he's here. And look at how there's a trine. Now, Venus is also Charles, but there's a trine between Harry, Charles, and Princess Catherine, which is kind of weird. So we asked a little bit about this before, but why on earth would Harry and Princess Catherine be secretly communicating? I'm getting that. Seems outlandish, but yeah. It's talking. They're talking.
Yeah, it almost makes sense with the original cards. I'm going to share them now because I haven't, but
Okay.
it was such a strong theme with 3 decks. You'll see the difference, but I even used my little mini one. I have the 6 of Cups, which is childhood, siblings. It's, things from the past, people coming back from the past, which did make me think of Harry. And then with the 3 of Cups, a reunion. I keep getting that. We've talked about that before. But then we have, of course, the Tower. So it's like it's shocking. Something is, coming down from it. I almost feel like there could be a reunion. I do believe that. I
The
do.
year of the reunion, and I guess I want to
Yeah.
predict that it's probably going to be between this month and next July. And
Mm,
things like the Tower tend to bring people together
yeah.
when they didn't want to talk. Everything
Yeah.
there's a different perspective,
Yeah.
and they've got to stick together. It's like they're all in the same rowboat. So,
If
uh,
someone initiates it, it could be Catherine. I just
okay,
asked who would initiate any reunion. It would be her.
okay,
But it
got
may
it.
be behind the scenes. It may not
Yeah.
be
Yeah, I
all.
mean, it's nice that they're talking. And I
Yeah.
also think with her being retrograde in Diana's chart, it's that
Mm,
he really cares about her.
yeah.
And he doesn't care how he reaches out or what
Mm,
method or whatever, he needs to get a message to her.
yeah.
So I think that's interesting.
Hmm.
Um, Eleanor, you're asking, is London going to be safe? Do you feel like pulling a card on that one?
Sure.
Kind of focused on that last week.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of what would you do in that sense? Because it's pretty general. Like, would you want to make that more specific?
I would say, well, I just want a yes or no, and then we could always ask further, but it's a big yes. Wheel of Fortune
Oh, good.
doesn't mean that a place is without disruption or upsets or things that aren't well, but it's coming out the other side, ultimately. This is things working in the city's favor. This is good. This is a good yes card. Safe.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I've heard someone say a wheel of fortune means it could go either way, but I
Yeah.
like the positive spin on it. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And all right, so now I am going to go back to, we're going to change gears here. And then we're going to get into some charts you guys are going to be really shocked about. But this is the UK chart. This is the new chart, but it's a solar return chart for the UK this year. So, great segue about London being safe. Well, we're talking about politics here now. The ascendant this year, and this started January. So this would be the January 31st to February 31st month. Of course, it's going to be in Libra. Libra means a politician. Now, a south node means a politician says goodbye, and moon means a famous politician. So this would come in as a theme this year. But this politician does not want to say goodbye, as you can see with the square here. Now, in a country chart, or if we're looking at politics, we can look at the fourth house as the House of Commons. For the US, it would be the White House. And look at all of those little symbols in the fourth house, and they are all excited. Now, you can see that square here where they're fighting with this famous politician. They do not like him. And my sense is the fourth house for the UK this year, it's in Capricorn. Capricorn means the conservatives. And it also, I put that old picture of the House of Commons where it looks like, this is would it be maybe the 18th century? And they've got all wigs on.
Mm.
What do you think, Amber?
I love it. I love it.
And so you can see that Capricorn would represent something like that. It's old. It's an old House of Commons. Now, the third house in a politician or a political chart would be the local district. So we can see how they're going to do. And looks like by the time July, the spring rolls around, the local districts are doing pretty well. There's a nice trine here to Jupiter. When you have a trine to Jupiter, oh, it's so nice. It's expansion, it's luck, it's happiness, it's thank God. Not to say they're all saying that right now. But what's so interesting is you put the aspects on this, and wow, there is a fight. Now, we've already gotten through some of this fight. And how do I know that? Well, the first house started with January 31st and went to February, the end of February. So we're going to count through. So it's January, February, March, April. So this would have been a huge, huge fight about something in April. May, June, July. Now we're in the 7th house. And it rules, or it's ruled by Aries. So this is a fight. It's a big fight. And this starts July 31st, goes to August 31st. And it just seems like they cannot agree with something. Now, Jupiter I assign as the liberals, and Saturn I assign as the conservatives. So it's funny how it seems to be they're in agreement about something. It could be about parks, 5th house, could be about kids, families. But anyway, where am I going with all of this? Well, Mars rules this month, and it's in here. There is a big fight. This is the month because North Node is here. And North Node is when you see it in a house in your destiny calendar, you are supposed to be getting something. And they do look like they're going to get something because of the blue lines. But this looks like they are going to get a war. I mean, it's got to be about a war. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think about this little stellium here in the 7th?
That's a lot going on. When you popped the aspects in, it was like a completely different energy altogether. Let's see what it is. I'm going to get 3 cards. Let's do 3 cards. Wow. The world. So certainly something that affects the world. And is there disagreement between a Queen of Wands and an Empress? This is intense feminine energy. So if there's, leadership that are women, I've said this before, I don't know who this is, but there are women at odds about the world.
Wow. Ooh.
Or the world view. Let's see one more.
I got a female too.
It's about, okay, so someone will have to share with us if there's someone in the financial aspect of the politics. It's an argument over spend. The
Venus. This could be my Wi-Fi, by the way, so probably not your issue, Amber. Anyway, let's go to my slides and look at this. There is a female here, and hopefully you can see that. That's the female. It's also money. And there's a lot of money here. There's a financial, it seems like a financial scheme here. So I'm not sure what that is. Why do I say it's a scheme? Because of Black Moon Lilith, of course. This could be taxes. That's why I put taxes up here. This could be something that's helping the people that labor is suggesting, and it's actually going to work. Now, but all of this here, this is supposed to be what's coming in, and it's just not happening. It's stuck. And I bet you that they want to be helpful. They want to somehow make some progress when it comes to a war, probably Ukraine, and they just cannot agree. Now, the sun here is the president, or the prime minister. So there is something that's going on with the prime minister, with Aquarius, that is being able to see the future. The prime minister, Keir Starmer, I think he can clearly see what's happening here. And so he is making the right decision about something. That's what I would say. Whenever you have, a bunch of planets in Aquarius and you have a trine or a sextile, there is, it's almost like it's like a superpower. You're able to really, really see how, the effects basically of what you're trying to do. Now, here is Princess Catherine's solar return chart. How crazy is it that on her birthday of that year, January 9th, her ascendant would land. I mean, talk about a wheel of fortune right on Regulus. It would show that everybody would see her this year as royalty, as a princess. And that would start around her birthday. And then the solar return chart, a little bit bigger here. So, what is kind of worrying me a little bit is that this is not the best chart when it comes to marriage, because Jupiter right here is William and Uranus is also William. Okay. And check out that T square. It's intense. It is not positive. And the thing is that the sun, the chart ruler for the year, is actually helping, obviously, her career, MC, and her family, which is also represented by Jupiter. Her family they're holding themselves together. They're strong. They're able to, I've got to say, because there's a trine to her MC, which represents her career, it's almost like her career is saving the family, meaning that people really think highly of her. But the problem is that Black Moon Lilith, right there in the middle of that stellium between Jupiter, which represents Prince William, Uranus, which represents Prince William, and then there's the moon. And so the moon is in the 11th house, which would be a friend. So there's a friend in there. And it's in the 8th house. It looks like something that is not positive. And I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make it. I really don't. Here is a picture of Pippa, her sister, and Prince Catherine. Beautiful day, beautiful ladies. Oh, just everybody loves a royal wedding. And here is Prince William's birth chart. Look at how the 7th house is in Gemini. He would marry, and we talked about this before, but I just wanted to show it to you. He married a twin. He married somebody who looked like somebody else. So I think that's notable in his chart. That's in his birth chart. Okay, so we've got one more thing going here, and this is Princess Charlene. Now, this is her solar return chart for January. All right. And so she got married in July of 2011. Princess Charlene and Princess Catherine both got married in 2011. So they had Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith and Uranus in a stellium, which is not good. It's not good at all. And so Venus represents herself, really. The first house is represented by Venus in Sagittarius, which means a marriage. She's going to get married that year. So what we're going to do is we're going to count from